Good morning, everyone. I'm Phyllis Newbill, and I'm the Outreach and Engagement Coordinator at Virginia Tech's Center for Educational Networks and Impacts. Welcome to the Virginia Tech Science Festival meetup this morning. I'll be your host today, and then I'm going to turn it right over to Will Ferris, who's here from Kite Science at Virginia Tech.
Hey, thanks, Phyllis. Hey, guys, how are you doing? Very excited to be here and talk with you guys. Guys, let me ask you a question real quick, guys and girls, and everybody else involved in the presentation. How many of you have flown a kite before in the past? I think I see a couple hands in there. Now, how many of you guys have taken a photo with a camera? Awesome. That's great. Now, another quick question. How many of you guys have planted a garden? Oh my goodness. Well, you guys are gonna, probably be able to relate. Now the thing is, this presentation I was given originally geared towards a college environment, college age, students and above. But I'm pretty sure you guys are smart and have the background experience so you could probably handle it. So without further ado, I think we should get to it. So today's presentation is called Flying High with Kite Photography. You can see that my name is Will Ferris. That's nothing too exciting. I'm actually in the Department of Agricultural and Applied Economics over at Virginia Tech, and Phyllis mentioned my funding group, ICTAS. What I've been working on is a very low-cost way of using kites to take photos of farms. Now, the reason for this is that, typically aerial photography, photos from the sky, are pretty expensive and complex, and it's pretty hard for farmers in countries outside the United States to, maybe integrate this, sky photography into their farming. Now, the reason, I'm focusing on developing countries is here in the United States, we actually have, a lot of technology in our farming. However, unfortunately, some countries don't necessarily have, those high technology systems. So, trying to find a low cost way to bring, photography from the air to farmers in other countries where maybe they don't have quite as much, money or technology, that could really, help them with their, farming and yields and crops and things. One of the reasons why sky photography is helpful in farming is you can track how your crops are doing, how your plants are doing. You can look at how things are growing. You can look to see if some of your plants are growing in a healthy manner or if they're not growing in a healthy manner. Basically, you can attach information to photos. You can maybe put information on a photo that will tell the farmer how much moisture is in his crops on a given area and how many nutrients are in the soil, how much fertilizer is in the soil. So it really helps farmers with their planning because in addition to these photos, they can, track, animal encroachment is a term we would use in agriculture perhaps, but that just means animals eating crops. And you can track how your, water content in your soil is doing because as plants need water to grow. Now, moving forward, for the most part, in the real, in more developed countries, they tend to use airplanes and drones for aerial photography. This third methodology, kites, is more of a low-cost thing that I've been investigating. A few other people have done it as well. Now, the thing about, airplanes is, big airplanes like this can take really high resolution, really good photographs from the air. The problem is a plane like this costs about $6 million. Something slightly cheaper would be a drone. I don't know, has any of you guys, you all mentioned you've flown drones before, right? Someone in the class had. So something like this, I'm not sure what you guys have flown, but these things can cost, $15,000 to $20,000, all the way up to $40,000, and beyond. It's basically, limitless how much you could spend on these. My goal, though, is to do this for as low of a cost as possible. I'm looking to do it for, under $200 total. The reason being, unfortunately, some countries don't necessarily have the technology and the financial resources that we have here in the United States for farming. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm taking a little action camera. Has anyone heard of a GoPro before, a waterproof camera? So what I'm essentially doing is taking a smaller version of one of those and flying it from a little pulley system from a kite. I'm basically dangling a camera from a kite and flying that really high and taking photos of farm work. Now, there's two parts to this, aerial photography, the sky photos process. The photography itself and the analysis of the photos, basically figuring out what's in the photos. So what I'm basically doing here is using a kite to take those photos. And you can kind of imagine that one small photo on a map will be worthless, but suddenly the more you have, you can kind of piece together that nice, satellite imagery that, Google might use. Now, granted, Google's probably not going to use my kite photos, but it's a rough idea. You could imagine on, a small scale on someone's farm, they might be able to use something like this. Now, the reason this is important is that, if farmers can do this, they can kind of integrate this technology for a low cost, and then, even send their photographs via email and meet with them via Zoom, and, get real-time feedback without making the scientists fly around. So in this way, the scientists can help as many people as possible.
Is this something they could try to experiment with at school? And if so, how would they go about doing it?
Well, I think it could be. So, do you guys have access maybe to like a low cost camera? For instance, the one that I used was $30. You could find, knockoff ones on Amazon for under 20 easily. So I'm not sure what kind of photography equipment you guys have, but you could absolutely, a kite is only a few dollars, and you could like just tape a camera to the kite. You don't even need that pulley rig that I do, and you could maybe fly it over the field. If you guys have like a playground, you could take photos of the playground from the air, and then upload the photos to your computer, and then everyone could wave hi to the camera. It's absolutely something you could do.
So for the camera you use,
Yes.
would you have to have it like so that you could take pictures from it like from your phone?
So that's actually a really great question. I know with some of the higher end cameras, you can remotely tell them to take photos, but a inexpensive workaround you can do is if you put the camera to video mode, you can pause the video and take a photo of the video, if you will, like take little images from the video itself. So that way, if you start the video before you fly the kite, once it's in the area, it's just recording, and then when the kite lands, you just review the video and pause it periodically and take the photos, and that way you don't actually have to like jump up in the air and click the camera button.
How did you get into this?
So I actually do a little more, I guess, technical kind of research with GIS, the mapping stuff. I look at like water pollution and things like that, and the data that we use from the USGS Geological Survey on water pollution. I don't actually, for the most part, collect any data in my my primary research. This is more of a side project I've been doing. And since side projects are fun, and a little creativity can kind of help keep people motivated. I was working on my primary project and thought, well, I bet I can apply this with limited funding and just experiment a little. I like being outside. I like farms. I do enough gardening myself. And I was thinking, well, you know what? I guess I don't have a whole lot of resources on my own, but I'm sure there are a lot of farmers that don't have a lot of resources. And if I'm, curious about taking photos from the air, I'm sure someone else is.
We're approaching the end of our time. So I just want to take a minute to thank everybody, thank the Lucketeers, and thank Will Ferris